week's webinar for the Game Changers program. As you can see, I got some slick new headphones with a new microphone. So hopefully the volume of my voice sticks out there the whole time, and we don't have a lot of the issues that we've had in the past. Also, most of you guys are probably watching us through YouTube, which I found is a lot less glitchy than trying to log on through Google. So it's pretty cool. All you got to do is click on the link in the Facebook post, and it opens up the live feed right there in Facebook. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on tonight's webinar topic. All right. So tonight we are going to be talking about supplementation. So just real quick, we're going to go over kind of the details of the agenda of the evening, why we need to take supplements, quality matters, and foundational supplements. Before we do that, I want to spend just a couple of minutes program review. I'd like for you guys to, in order to make this somewhat interactive, since unfortunately we're not able to see everybody and speak online, I'd like us to use the Facebook page to create a little bit more of an interactive kind of plan for, or interactive platform for tonight. So what is your favorite thing about the program so far? What have you found out, or what do you really like about the Game Changer program, and tell me why. And also, what's your least favorite thing? And guys, please don't worry about hurting my feelings. Let me know what it is, and hopefully we can come up with some solutions. And I'd love to see what everybody comes up with and has out there, because if there's some common threads, then maybe we can figure out some things that we can either do to enhance the program. And if there's some common things that everybody loves, and we'll make sure we'll do more of that. So let's post your answers on the Facebook page, either during the slideshow presentation right now or afterwards. But please, everybody, let's do that tonight before we log off. Anyways, why we need supplements. So there is something known as the recommended daily intake, or the recommended daily allowance. It's kind of known as both of those things. It's on the back of all nutrition labels. So when you look at a nutrition label and it says a percent of DV, that's a percentage of daily value for that particular nutrient. The RDIs were developed back in 1941. So during World War II, the government kind of came up with, or they looked at all the current research that was available, and they came up with the minimum standards for different nutrients in order to avoid disease. So the amounts were identified to meet the needs of 97 and 98% of healthy adults. Healthy adults, I went ahead and kind of put in quotations there, because the definition of healthy is quite interesting. And by most, like World Health Organization, only about 1.5% of the U.S. population is considered healthy. So I always find that very interesting, that we have these RDIs, these intake guidelines that the government gave us, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, almost 80 years ago, and they're designed for healthy adults, but less than 2% of the population is considered healthy. So it's kind of scary. They've been updated 4 times, the last time being in 1989. So, it's been a long time since they've been looked at, and I think that it's kind of scary that way. So the RDIs do not apply to you if A, you live in hot or cold climates, and everybody in Arizona, sorry, you guys live in a very hot climate. If you are stressed, please show me one person on the planet that's not stressed. If you exercise or is physically active, again, all of us. If you are pregnant, potentially some of you. Over the ages of 65, that's none of us. Are exposed to toxins, that's every single person on the planet, or are considered unhealthy. And unless you are a part of that 1.5%, you are part of the 98.5% of the population that is not considered healthy by World Health Organization standards. One of the other big reasons why supplements are so necessary is because of the nutrient content of our soil is depleted. Now, this chart was from 1992, so again, it's not super updated. However, considering that it was from 92, which was 24 years ago, at that time, the nutrient concentration in the soil of North America was depleted 85%. That was in 92. So you can imagine where we're at, 24 years later. It's crazy how bad the soil mineral has been depleted. So therefore, that just means we're not getting the minerals in our food the way we used to. Scary stuff. Quality matters. So when you look at supplements, everybody always asks me, like, does it matter what kind or what brand I get? Yeah, it does. Supplements have very little regulation from the Food and Drug Administration. Very, very little. As a matter of fact, there are only 2 standards or requirements that supplements are required to meet. One, it must weigh 90% of what it says it weighs. So if it's supposed to be 5 grams, it literally only has to weigh 4.3 grams. And the purity has to be the same as food, which is 85%. So if you guys didn't know this, food only has to be 85% pure to be sold to the public. That means that you can have 15% of the food be feces and rat parts and insects and all that fun stuff that just kind of makes its way into that processing part of it. So kind of scary. $20 billion a year is what's estimated is spent on supplements in this country alone, and hardly any standards or requirements go into it. So what some companies have done is they've adopted what's known as good manufacturing process, and you see that logo down at the bottom of the screen. Good manufacturing process is a set of standards that serves to be a state of control that acts as a filter to help eliminate product contamination, mix-up, and errors. Literally what they've done is they've taken the 26 manufacturing protocols that are required by the pharmaceutical industry, or for the pharmaceutical industry by the FDA, and have utilized those in supplementation manufacturing. So in addition to the 2 requirements above, they also have to do what they say it's going to do. It has to actually have in the bottle what they say it has in the bottle, and a number of other things. The primary goal of good manufacturing processes is to ensure that manufacturing processes operate in that state of control. So if you were going to go out and buy supplements, I would highly recommend looking for that label. If it has it, if they're manufactured with the GMPs, they will put that label on there. It's an expensive process, so they are going to advertise that, and therefore you're probably going to spend a little bit more for your supplements. So let's talk about foundational supplements, and that's what we're going to spend the rest of the evening talking about, is just foundational basic supplements. These are meant to supplement nutrition efforts more consistently than most can do with food. They are to provide nutrients which are difficult to obtain daily through diet alone, and however, they will not reverse poor food quality choices. So a lot of times I'll get clients ask me, like, so if I take a green supplement, does that mean I don't have to eat vegetables? No, that's not what it means. It means that that green supplement is going to provide some additional nutrients that you're not normally getting because you're probably not eating enough to begin with. Is it better than eating no vegetables? Well, yeah, but you still need to get vegetables. There's other benefits from vegetables than just the nutrients that are in there. So taking a multivitamin and eating fast food every day is not, that multivitamin doesn't counteract the effects of eating that processed food on a daily basis. So the foundational supplements that I'm going to talk about tonight are a multivitamin, omega-3 fatty acids, a form of protein, probiotics, vitamin D, and a calcium magnesium supplement. This is what I consider the foundational basis of supplements for general health. We're not getting into performance enhancement or any other, or weight loss, but this is just generalized foundational supplements for normal general health. So multivitamins. So here's why. Deficient intakes of nutrients in the U.S. is rampant. The majority of the population is likely somewhat deficient in a handful of nutrients. Most adults require more than the bare minimum RDA for nutrients anyway, especially if they are active. And again, remember, if I go back to that RDAs for just a second, those were the bare minimum to avoid developing disease. So, for instance, the recommended daily intake for vitamin C is the minimum amount that they've determined keeps you from getting scurvy. And we haven't had scurvy in the country since, pretty much since World War II. So vitamins or multivitamins going to help bridge the gap between what you're not getting through your food and what you need for optimal functioning. Most adults have a difficulty eating enough quality food. And when I say quality, I mean organic vegetables and fruits, grass-fed beef, um, organic chicken, and when you look at grass-fed, it's kind of funny. I was just doing some research on this yesterday, and, with the industry or the food industry is so liberal in the labeling, and the government keeps going back and forth on how strict they have to be on labeling. So it can say that it's grass fed, but that doesn't mean that it's literally grass fed all the way up until the day that it's taken to slaughter. It can be grain finished is what they call that. So for the last 60 to 180 days before it's slaughtered, it can be fed grain to help fatten it up more. So it's almost like we are defeating the purpose of feeding them grass during most of their lives and then finishing them off with grains so we can get them as fat as possible. Even if people eat much better than the average now, they may not have always eaten as well. So multivitamins are a smart strategy to make up any gaps in the present or the past. And changing habits is hard, especially eating habits. So taking a multivitamin is easy. It may be the easiest behavior to master for the most physiologic benefit. And most plants are grown in nutrient depleted soil, like we talked about, compared to just a generation ago. So a couple of things about multivitamins in particular. They should be in a capsule form, not a tablet. When we talk about multivitamins, different than other forms of supplements, a multivitamin is a lot of different compounds that they put together. When they put it into a tablet, they use glues, binders, and fillers to keep all of that stuff bound together. Well, those things are additional toxins that you're putting into your body that you don't need. We're trying to avoid toxins. We don't want to add more in there. A capsule is usually vegetarian-based gelatin, so it's going to dissolve easily in the body, and you're going to absorb it where your body should. The minerals in a multivitamin should be chelated. Chelated just refers to them being bound to an amino acid, so it allows for better absorption in the body of those minerals. And I prefer to have a multivitamin that has an AM as well as a PM formula. So your body needs different nutrients throughout the day. It needs more vitamins during the daytime for energy and metabolism, more minerals at night for sleep and recovery. So by having a multivitamin with a formula that has a different formula for the morning and then for the evening, it ensures that your body's going to get the nutrients it needs when it needs it. All right, so foundational supplements going into omega-3 fatty acids. There's three kinds of omega-3s. You got DHA, EPA, and ALA. DHA and EPA can only be found in animal sources, and the best source is fish oil. ALA, it can be converted to DHA and EPA. It's a plant-derived fatty acid. However, only about 5 to 10% of it can be converted. So a lot of the supplement companies out there are trying to tell you that taking flaxseed oil is just as good as taking fish oil. That's dead wrong. You cannot convert the ALA into DHA and EPA, and that's the form of the fatty acids that we really need it to be in the body. The DHA helps out with brain function, especially for developing brains. That's why they put it in formula for babies. EPA maintains the integrity of cell membranes. So you need to have a high dosage of DHA and EPA on a daily basis. Some of the other benefits: it supports a healthy heart and metabolism. It decreases overall inflammation, both joint inflammation and systemic inflammation, decreases blood pressure. It lowers triglycerides. It can be used as a way to help regulate blood sugar, and it supports healthy neurological function. It can benefit ADHD, depression, and seasonal affect disorder, as well as Alzheimer's. And again, the best source of omega-3 fatty acids is in fish oil. One little caveat that I didn't put in here, it's really important that if you're going to take an omega-3, that you're taking just omega-3 fatty acids. There's a lot of supplements out there that have 3, 6s, and 9s. We get plenty of omega-6s and omega-9s from our nutrition, and we don't get as much of the omega-3s, and that's what we're deficient in. We need to get more omega-3s in there to increase our ratio of 3s to 6s and 9s. So, all right, protein. A couple of different kinds of protein. You've got whey protein, which is the most bioavailable form of a protein supplement out there. You've got vegan protein, which is some of the best sources for a vegan protein are hemp and pea. Why you would want to take vegan protein? Well, one, if you're a vegan and you don't want to get anything from an animal source, then that's a great way to do it. Two, if you have an allergy or a sensitivity to whey, then a vegan protein would be a great way to go. Stay away from soy protein like it's the plague. Soy is bad. We've talked about it before. It's a phytoestrogen. It increases estrogens naturally in your body. It does a bunch of nasty things. So some of the benefits of protein, well, it helps repair and rebuild muscles post-workout. So one of the best times to use a protein supplement is immediately after your workout, because it's going to provide those amino acids and those building blocks for your muscles to be able to repair and rebuild right away. It helps to decrease your recovery time. It enhances your immune system and provides some detoxification as well by boosting glutathione levels within the body. There is another source of protein supplement that they make called casein protein. It's promoted primarily as a slow digesting protein, so it doesn't get into the bloodstream quite as fast as whey protein, so it wouldn't be as good for like a post-workout. But again, depending on your levels of protein intake throughout the day, a protein supplement can be used as just a post-workout way to get more protein in, but it can also be used as a way to enhance your overall nutrition throughout the day in a very fast, inconvenient way. It's just a powder you mix with some water, some almond milk, and a shaker bottle, and you're good to go. Probiotics. We've talked about these a little bit in the past. Health benefits of probiotics: supports optimal bacteria balance in the gut. It's good for digestive health. Again, immune system, 70% of your immune cells are created in your gut, so probiotics can help out with your immunity in your body and just, again, overall health of the body. The big thing with probiotics is making sure that you're getting plenty of bacterial strains. And it's not enough to just eat yogurt. I know that there's a couple of brands out there like Activia that promote that they have healthy cultures in there, but you would have to eat literally a gallon of that in order to get the immune benefits or the health benefits of the probiotics that are in there. So I would recommend getting something with a minimum of 4 to 10 billion active cultures. And you can get them that are both freeze-dried, where you don't have to refrigerate them, and some that need to stay refrigerated. So it just kind of depends on where you're at and what you're looking for. All right, vitamin D. Again, huge health benefits of vitamin D. Most everybody is vitamin D deficient, especially in the state of Arizona and California. As a matter of fact, Arizona has the highest rate of vitamin D deficiency of any state in the country. It's actually kind of scary. But vitamin D is responsible for bone health, for blood pressure. It helps out with insulin secretion and receptivity of at the cells. So insulin sensitivity, big one there. It improves optimal immunity and reduces the risk of cancers. Vitamin D is as important for the immune system as vitamin C. So a lot of people don't realize that. We've been told since we were little to, when we start feeling like we're getting sick, to pop a bunch of vitamin C. I'm telling you, vitamin D will help out more in most cases. And it's also very important for mood and cognitive function. So optimal functional lab values is anywhere between 60 to 80 plus nanograms per deciliter. So if you ever were to get your vitamin D checked, that's what you want to see, is somewhere in that 60 to 80 nanogram range. All right, and then the last supplement that I want to talk about tonight is calcium magnesium. 99% of the body's calcium and 60% of the body's magnesium is stored in your bones. So if we are not getting enough calcium and magnesium, imagine what's happening in our skeletal system. Magnesium is the most prevalent mineral deficiency in the United States. It's huge for muscle contraction. So you can see down at the bottom where it says muscle nerve function, restless leg syndrome, muscle cramps and twitching. If you get uh, cramps at nighttime, especially while you're sleeping, a lot of people experience them in their calves. A lot of times everybody assumes that it's you're low on potassium, and potassium is important, but magnesium is one of those supplements that almost everybody is deficient in, and your body tends to use magnesium as a buffer. So if there are acids or other things in your bloodstream, your body will pull magnesium out of your bones and use it to buffer some of those acids, so it depletes it a little bit quicker. So it supports healthy bones, a lot of nerve and muscle function as well. All right, guys, that's all I have for tonight is for as far as supplementation. Again, I apologize that everybody is watching this and you're not able to interact and talk back with us. But I think it's going to be okay. At least we don't have to have a whole bunch of extra chatter on the video, on the playback. And please get on the Facebook page. Post your questions, any questions you have about tonight's information, any other questions that we've been having. I did send out an email today about weight and measurements. Thank you, Kim, for sending me yours. I'm pretty excited about that. I am putting together a graph and a spreadsheet for everybody's information because I want to be able to visually show the progress that you guys are making in the program so far, because you guys have been seeing some pretty impressive results, and I'm pretty excited about what you guys are doing. Don't forget, answer the questions that I asked. What's your favorite thing about the program and why? And what's your least favorite thing about the program and why? And post those on the Facebook page tonight, and let's get some chatter going. It doesn't have to be just me answering and responding to you guys. Let's chatter back and forth and root each other on and have some fun. As always, if you guys need me, you know where to find me. Please send me an email, shoot me a text, ask me a question on the Facebook page. I am here for you guys. And that's all I have for tonight. Have a great evening and keep it going. Good night, guys.